Okay, Cowboy T back. We have just finished assembling the classic turret press. It's ready to start adding components and making some ammunition. So what I did was I went in, got some powder, some primers. This particular load uses Bullseye. If you want to know how much of a charge of Bullseye, go to www.ammosmith.com. Go to the favorite reload section and you will find my powder puff load, which I designed with Miss BHC in mind, and that I happen to like to shoot a lot too because it's a nice fun load. It also makes the little lightweight Smith & Wesson J-frame airweights and the Ruger LCRs actually pleasant to shoot. So we're going to make some of this. As always, we put our powder here, keep it here so we know what the heck we're dealing with so that we don't mix powders. Mixing powders is a bad thing. Now, you'll note I'm using Federal primers with what looks like a Lee Auto Prime. And for those of you who are familiar with Lee's equipment and their directions, they say don't use Federal primers with an Auto Prime. Well, despite its superficial resemblance to an Auto Prime, it is not in fact an Auto Prime because the priming happens down here, far away from the primer tray. So if there is a detonation down here, it doesn't take all the primers with it. So yes, it is safe to use Federal primers in a Lee Safety Prime. Don't do it in the Auto Prime, but you can do it in the Safety Prime. And now that we're handling primers and about to play around with powder, it is time for the full face shield. Let's load this thing up.
And we notice you already have gloves on.
Yes, I did it beforehand. I'm not taking another ding for that again. So, let's make some space over here. Actually, you know what I should do? I should just pop this off. Comes right off. And I'll put this part back in. Open the box. And I'll pour in some primers.
There's a little tab on the bottom that keeps you from... Oh, you just open up the whole tray.
Yep, I'm going to do the entire tray. Because you can with the Safety Prime.
But those little puppies bounce a lot.
Yes, they do.
Take it from Miss BHC. But now, Cowboy T, they're not all in the same direction.
I know. Fortunately,
my.
Lee made a way to make them all the same direction. Just do this. Turns out this is like a little bumpy on the bottom. It turns them all upright just like that. There they are.
Sweet.
On goes the cover. As we say in the Air Force, get your dressing cover. Twist.
Push and turn
Done.
clockwise.
So, now I'll pull this off. Plug it back in like this. And let them fall.
And what they're doing, what's difficult to see, is they're dropping into the tube.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or the chute. Yes. Okay. Now, the powder hopper. You will see that I'm using the Pro Auto Disc powder measure that is normally used with the Pro 1000 and Loadmaster progressive presses, but I use one of these for the classic turret because, well, it works really well. If you want to use this powder measure with the turret presses, the classic turret in particular, you must also get this piece here. This is called the Auto Disc Riser. It rises up the Pro Auto Disc powder measure, or the original Auto Disc powder measure, so it doesn't smack into the Safety Prime here. Watch the action.
Right? Not so fast. Okay, go ahead.
Notice right there.
It cleared it.
It cleared it. I'll do it again. Right there. That's why you use it.
Off she goes.
Now, let's fill this powder hopper up. There is an on-off here. Right there, which you probably might be able to see. I have done a video series on specifically the Pro Auto Disc powder measure. Therefore, we won't go into how this works. If you'd like to know how that works, and you should, watch the video series on that. We'll just make sure it's turned off, and it is. Take the cap off, pour in some powder. it in, put it in.
Here's your label.
Yep, we always want to see what we're doing. Put the cap back on. And turn it like so. So we end up like this. Now, let's grab some brass and some bullets. I'll pull some out here. Yeah. This is what I use for this load. Ooh. The bullets look like crap. Dang it. I'm good looking and liberal, not coordinated. And modest.
Very.
Like, yes, very. So, look like the end of Crayola crayons. That's what we're going to use. So, here's how we go. Put the shell in, and up we go into the decapper and resizer. And while we're here is where we activate the priming mechanism, like so. There. Notice I lowered it just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's so that this would release. That's what I was talking about. Prime.
And
Okay.
at that point, just when I get to the bottom of the stroke, you really have to put a little bit of English on the handle
Just a bit.
to
Yeah.
seat the primer securely in the primer pocket.
Correct.
All right.
Now, here's another thing we're going to do. Back up to the powder measure. This is something I better tell you. I'm going to turn it on. Gibby, good idea to turn on the powder measure. And what we're going to do is we're going to quote unquote prime the pump. This thing's already been set up for the 38 special charge, so here's what we're going to do. 5 times, whoop, and the wide shots are probably going to be really good now.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to, here's where I'm short stroking the press, but I'm not doing it in the twisted part of the auto indexer. I always do this 5 times to the disc powder measures, the lead disc powder measures, to make sure they're accurate. And I've used this particular measure so many times that I already know that it drops exactly the charge that I want. That was the 5th time. Now I will charge. I will grab a bullet. So-called bullet because I cast them myself. We'll seat. And we don't have a 4th stage because, like with Miss BHC, I don't really need it. There's our round. We're done.
And when you put the shell, when you put, what's this again, that?
The turret?
When you put the turret onto the press, you had already adjusted all these dies in another video.
Yes, I have.
So they were already adjusted when you got them on.
Yes, I did. Matter of
Okay.
fact, I adjusted them for you.
Yes, you did.
So that's one round done. Let's do
Quite
another
nicely.
one. Oops. Gee. Come in here. Oops. Maybe not. Well, in the next segment, we'll load some more ammo and show you how it actually works on this thing. See you soon.
San Francisco liberal with a gun.